Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, February 16th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right. So as people join in, I'm going to start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. I'm just gonna mark up levels that are close by. There's no need to go super far out, of course. Price is not gonna go that far. 8 hour. 4 hour. 2 hour. 1 hour. Right here. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, guys. So looking at liquidity over here so far, price is currently in the middle. First level of liquidity above is at 83. Sorry, it's at 38,842. Lower level over here is going to be at 38,691. So happy Friday, everyone. Good morning. Today is Friday, February 16th. It is 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in a few moments. Oh, crap. I marked up liquidity on the wrong chart. So I'll just leave this as a liquidity chart for today. Here's a clean chart. I'm going to go over here from 6:30 to 8. We'll go up to the 4 hour real quick. See if there's structure. Small structure right there. Structure right there. Go down to the 1 hour. Looks like we're good. All right, so we currently have 1 minute resist or 4 hour resistance that's above and 4 hour resistance that's below, but it's pretty far from current price. So we'll see what happens here when market actually opens. That's pretty much all we have so far. Looking over here at the calendar for this morning, we had a lot of news this morning. We had Fed Barton speaking at 5 o'clock. We had news at 5:30 PPI. We had PPI month over month at 5:30. So basically 5:30, 6:10, and 7. It's pretty much what we're looking for today. So obviously this big spike right here, 5:30. 6:10, and 7 o'clock. 6:10, which is there, and 7 o'clock. All right, so that's pretty much it. All right. So let's see who's here so far. Hey, Maddie. Morning. Morning, Randy. Morning, Funmi. Morning, Hawk. Morning, Daniel. Morning, William. Morning, Jay. Jay just got his 4 PA accounts. Nice work, Jay. 4 funded accounts. Nice work. So see how that goes. Um, you probably shouldn't go higher than 10 units or 10 contracts. So anything below that's fine, but 10 is like the very, very max that you should go on your funded. It's gonna, you're still gonna make decent profit, but it's gonna keep you in a place where you can't lose unless you lose like 4 trades back to back. You'd have to literally go four for four back-to-back losses to blow your account on the PRB entry with a 10 contract. But if you're having a bigger stop loss, then obviously use a smaller contract size. So I mean, use anything you want, but don't use anything past 10. If your stop loss is 25 points, if it's anything more, then you got to go even smaller. So it's just up to your preference. Hey, Kaner, morning. Morning, Sisuk. Morning, PC. Morning, William. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, market is about to open in about 30 seconds. Morning, David. Morning, Gary. Yes, that's right, Gary. So once you pass your Apex account, there's a one-time fee of 280. You can do the monthly, but the monthly doesn't make any sense. You're better off just doing the one-time fee. And that's why their challenges are so cheap. You pay for the fee after you get funded. So you pay for a cheap evaluation, and then once you pass, then you pay the activation fee, which still comes out to being a lot cheaper. For 150K account, it's like all in all, like total price is like around 300 something, an FTML account's like 500 to $1,000. All right, guys, market is now open. So here goes opening price right there. We don't really have a trend yet, so we're looking for the trend here to confirm before we can start looking for any actual entries. So just sit tight, guys, and we will see where this ends up going. So for the PRB entry here, it looks like we're going to be looking for a buy, but there's no confirmation of trend yet. As you guys can see down here, the trend is not confirmed with regard to the pivots. That's going to be the first step. Once we confirm the trend, we can start looking for a trade in that direction. Yeah, no problem, Gary. So here we go. Price is coming back down, completely fine. If price comes down, we just have to look for the trend to switch to bearish before we can start looking for some entries. There is a V1 pattern right here, guys, for the confluence. If you guys are looking for an entry, however, there's no trend. So even though there is a V1 pattern there, there's not really any entry that you guys can take, at least not yet. So we will continue looking for opportunity here as price moves along. ATR right now is currently 18, so it's not that bad. It's pretty decent. There just isn't much direction just yet. Let me check the news at 7 o'clock. The news at 7 o'clock is high impact. We have Michigan consumer sentiment. So, if anything, price might go sideways until then. But we'll see what happens here in a few. It's forecasted to be positive, so see what happens there. The news is positive at 5:30, but price dumped super far below. So this was the news at 5:30 right here. Price dumped below, then it corrected back up. And then there might be manipulation back down again and a swing right back up again because the news is forecasted to be positive. So we'll see if we can find something here, but it's not really much. Thanks, Nick. So Nick just reported that CNBC reported that the Dow falls as yield jumps. So if that's the case, price might start climbing up after a while. So this is just reported right now at 6:32, like literally right now. We can expect price to get manipulated back to the upside. Or price might just continue dropping here for a while. And then when news happens at 7, then price can climb its way back up, right? But again, we just gotta wait for the trend here to confirm. Until the trend's confirmed, there's not going to be much for us to look at. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 79% short. This indicates that 79% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. We don't necessarily have to do buys for scalps, but long-term direction, you want to look for buys, of course. Looking over here at CNBC, fundamentals are currently down 127 points, so they're obviously bearish right now. So they're right now currently coming down. And then we have news over here coming up at 7 o'clock. So it's pretty mixed. Looking over here at the technicals, you can see the 1 minute is starting to shift to bearish. The 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minute is switching to bearish, 1 hour is bullish, and 4 hours bullish. So the shorter time frames are switching to bearish, and so are the longer time frames following. However, they're not necessarily established yet. So at this point, guys, we do have a bearish bias. What we're looking for is we're looking for price to retrace back up, some consolidation, and swing back down for the PRB entry. So it looks like we will be looking for a sell for the PRB, but we'll have to see what happens here. And there was also a breakout V3 continuation right here. It looks like Daniel and iPhone took it. I marked up the structure here to show you guys. There was a confluence right there. So confluence, sell signal, red candle, breakout V3 continuation right here for a sell. So if anybody caught that, nice work. Looks like 2 people in the chat caught it. Daniel and iPhone. Brian as well. Nice work, Jeff. Yeah, so like 3 people here caught the breakout V3 continuation. It was a pretty quick move because the trend barely shifted and then it just came down super heavy right there. Nice. Vimal got it as well. Nikki got it. William tried to get into it. Jeff caught it. Daniel said liquidity blasted as well. So if you guys saw liquidity down there, liquidity got hit down here as well. So we marked this up pre-market. You guys saw it already. Went straight through to TP. So liquidity got hit. Breakout V3 continuation over here got hit. And at this point, we're going to continue looking for possible opportunity here for the PRB entry. So we will be looking for a sell here, but we do need confirmation before we can start looking. Yeah, Maddie said he missed it, but he's down for the PRB. All right. Yeah, William said another reason to only trade Apex. Yeah, MetaTrader has been having a lot of issues, guys. So I'm not surprised that you try to get in, William, and you weren't sure if it actually executed. Common issue, right? That's the issue a lot of people have been having with their executions. Not really much you can do about it either, which sucks. But let's see where this takes us. So we're looking for price to swing back up and then come back down. That's going to be the first step. Well, the first step was identifying the trend, which we already identified as bearish. Now we're looking for price to swing up and swing back down. After that, we'll be looking for a sideways move, and then we'll be looking for the same thing again. So basically, since we're looking for a sell here, we're going to be looking for like an M pattern. So M, that basically, or like that. Capital M. Barack's asking, sorry, but I gotta ask, did you guys already take the PRB? No, we haven't. Not yet, Barack. If we took the PRB, it'd be here on the chart already. There's no setup, so have not taken it yet. Looking for it to swing back up for retracement, come back down, look for space, retracement, confirmation. So it's got to give us some time. 6:37 right now. Typically, the entry happens over here around like 6:44. That's like the sweet spot I've noticed from our spreadsheets. Volatility here is dying down a little bit. It looks like market is going to try to churn right here, meaning it's going to try to like lure in some more traders on either side. As you can see, price is like slowly going down, but it's going sideways for the most part. So it's just churning traders right here in a circle. I think it's trying to lure in some people to catch the opposite for a buy, and then it's going to swing right back down maybe. We'll see. Yeah, there's a V1 pattern setting up right here, guys. But we are looking for sells, so this could either be like a small retracement or it can be a fake out, a temporary V1 pattern, then it comes right back down to wipe it out. Let's see, Bamal said Apex has no spread or slippage. I took a sell at 38,709, closed at 38,699, spot on. Yeah, no, it doesn't really have much spread. I mean, the spread's maybe like 1 point at most at almost all times of the day. And slippage, for the most part, not too much slippage. I mean, if the price is spiking around and there's like a lot, like huge spikes of volatility, then yes, there's always going to be some slippage because faster. But realistically, it's not slippage on our end. It's slippage I mean, it's not slippage on their end, it's slippage on our end because we're not quick enough to execute. If you have a pending order, then it'll usually execute on point. But if you're hitting a market order, there's always going to be slippage for market orders. So yeah, Apex is great. That's why I prefer futures versus, any other any other asset, because it's just more straight to the point. Straight to the point. There's more transparency because we are trading data from the exchange. We're all trading the same data. That's the main thing. We're trading the same data. We're not trading like some made up broker data for the most part. All right, guys, 640 price is starting to push back up right here. Let's see if we get that first print. And after that first print, we'll see if we can get that space. Then the second print for entry. Yeah, exactly. Nicholas said on the live market, it's commissions. Yeah, that's why we pay higher commissions. I think both ways we're paying like, I don't know, like four or $5 round trip. So we're paying pretty decent amount of commissions, but it's worth it because we're paying commissions, so there's no spread. Like we're getting direct pricing, perfect execution. All right, Maddie, this looks like the first print is coming up. So we got that push to the upside, then came back down. So this is going to be the first step right here for the PRV. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle. Yeah, exactly. It's got to be a clean wave. All right, so there goes the first print right there, Maddie. Looking for some space now. Oh, actually, you're right. No print. Let me take out the high low. Yeah, you're right, Maddie. Good eye. Thanks for checking that out. Yeah, no, it moved after. This is why we need all three steps. Because if you don't catch all three steps, then you might be skipping one. All right, so there's no print here, guys. The candle didn't close red like we were hoping. It kind of pushed up and it came back down at the last second. You can see here that price is really just going back and forth at this moment. So I'm going to go over here and mark up the 1 minute resistance and the 1 minute support. Come back to this. This might need to be changed if price drops down lower. All right, there's no print there, so there's still no initial setup for the PRB just yet. We need price again to push up and come back down for the first criteria. Still no print. Got 30 seconds left on this candle. So what would be nice is a nice push to the upside and for it to come right back down. Yeah, Maddie said high impact news at 7, so he's capping his entry at like 6:53. Same here, Maddie. And I will probably be closing it early too by 6:53 because the news is supposed to be positive. All right, so we're getting the first print right here. It looks like price finally pushed up, came back down. We got the first print. All right, now we're looking for some space here. We're looking for some space. I mean, this whole thing could probably be space because it's just consolidating throughout. Hey, Maria, morning. All right, so we got price kind of here going back and forth. We got the first print. We're looking for some space in between, basically consolidation phase. And then we'll be looking for the continuation back to the downside. About 18 seconds left on here. I would actually like to push up a little more and then maybe get that push down off the pivots 3 or 4. Yeah, it's gonna give us more space here for the continuation. All right. We got the rejection, we got the space. Now we just need the push back to the upside and rejection back down. Nothing there yet, but we are looking for a sell. All right, if this here rejects off this pivot 3 with a wick rejection, then this will be an entry for the PRV. I don't think there's any structure here. No, we're good. All right, guys. So if this closes right here, the wick rejection off the pivot 3 entries right there. So there goes a PRV entry right there. Set alert right here. Submitted. Got the alert set down there so I can follow it. Now it's just a waiting game. Got in like a little lower, so I'm not like at prime entry, so I'll have to watch it. If it comes down, I'll probably have to just close it out once it hits its CP. So now we just gotta wait. We have another V1 pattern right here too, Maddie said. So that's solid right there. Hopefully it just keeps coming down from where it's currently at. Because the V1 pattern would be a good confluence. All right, so the V1 pattern there just invalidated, but it's okay. Take that off. The tricky thing about this entry right here is that we had a wick rejection on both sides. This is kind of what I was worried about, but we've seen it work in the past. It doesn't always not work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, for the most part, but we've had another entry, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, where we had the wick rejection on both sides, and it still played through. So, I mean, we still got to follow the strategy as it's supposed to be applied with no restrictions, and just got to let the trade play through. The only problem here is that we're getting really close to news. So we're getting news is at 7 o'clock. It's high impact news. So we just got to be careful for this area right here. This might hit or stop. We'll see. Market's been kind of tricky this week and last week. The past 2 weeks or 3 weeks actually have been a little tricky, if you guys have noticed. We have it where it pulls back kind of hard and then it ends up coming right back down. All right, I'm out of it, guys. Unfortunately, I got stopped out on this trade. So for the PRV entry, we had 3 wins and 2 losses this week, which is still perfectly fine because we're still in profit. So I'm still in profit for the week. We had a loss for today. We had a win yesterday, loss before that, and a win before that for 2 days straight. So 3 wins and 2 losses for the PRV this week. Unfortunately, this is just how the week has been, but it's all good. Come back on Monday fresh, and we'll retake the PRV on that day as well. So February has been kind of choppy. If you guys have noticed our results for the PRV. So looking over here, we had pretty much all wins for January. We had all wins for the first week of February. We had 2 losses on Thursday, Friday last week. And then this week we had 2 wins on Monday, Tuesday, 1 win on Wednesday, one loss on Wednesday, 1 win on Thursday, and then 1 loss today on Friday, which is all good. But again, I think this is a key thing that I'm going to be looking for in the next entries. This is going to be our data entry, wick rejection on both ends of the pivots. So I'll put this over here. Entry wick off pivots on both sides. This one over here, price spiked up. Price spiked and price spiked. So the main thing that we've noticed is just price is either spikes up, and for this one over here, this one was a valid loss. Like this one over here there was no spike to the upside. The only difference that I saw here was that the pivots were rejecting on both sides. So I'll put that over here. So unfortunately, lost for the day, but it's all good. We're still up for the week. Not bad. I mean, I'll take that 1 win for the week because that will definitely give us long-term profitability. So let me put this over here real quick. Entry happened at, say, 646, 2, 16, 24. It was for a sell. And this is one thing that we've noticed too. So a lot of people have been mentioning this on the mentoring group, is that a lot of the losses happen with sells. So I think Patricia mentioned this yesterday. You can see over here, the loss over here is for a sell. This is for a sell. This is for a sell. 3 of the losses from this first so far that we've had are been sells, but we've had a lot of wins that were sells as well. So I can't use that as the deciding factor. So it looks like price kind of pushed up a little higher. So right here, let's see if yeah, even if stop loss was at 30, it still would have gone stopped out. It just pushed up right here at 35, and then it came right back down. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes right back down and climbs back to where it was supposed to, but it's all good. All right, so we're done with that right there. There's another V1 pattern right here. It's right at the sessions. So if anybody's looking to take a breakout V3 continuation, that might be setting up right here. There's a double body rejection right here. We're looking for a sell signal and a red candle to follow it. So if that's the case right here, this might push through and provide another opportunity for a sell entry. Nick is asking if the market is going to be open on Monday. What's on Monday? Let me check real quick. Oh, President's Day. You're right. Let's check the calendar real quick. I forget that President's Day is in. It doesn't look like the market's closed. Or I could be wrong. Let's check Forex Factory because they're usually on point with. Next week. Yeah, so the market is closed tomorrow on Monday, actually. It's President's Day Monday. It's a long weekend. Market's technically going to be closed. I mean, technically it'll be open, but for the most part, it's going to be closed. So it'll be open for a few hours. I'm not going to trade on Monday, of course. There's no need to trade on a holiday because it's just it's too risky, especially if the volatility is too low. All right, so we have pending sell signal right here. If you guys are looking to take a breakout V3 continuation, this could be a setup for it right here. As I mentioned, guys, I'm going to stick to my game plan. I'm only taking one entry a day, which is the PRB. You can see over here, February has been a very, very choppy. Well, not the whole February, but just like these past 2 weeks. These past 2 weeks have been very choppy for the PRB entry. So as you guys can see from last week, we had a break-even week. We had Monday, Wednesday were wins. Thursday, Friday were losses. The good thing about this strategy is that it's a one-to-one. So as long as you have, one more win for the week, you'll end up in profit. So last week was a break-even week. This week was a profitable week. So we had a win on Monday, Tuesday. We had a loss on Wednesday, win on Thursday, loss on Friday right here. So overall, it's still pretty good for a one-to-one type strategy. We have 7 wins, 4 losses for the month of February. Total profit of 75 points. Total trades of 11 trades. Current win-loss ratio of 63.6. Typically, we don't have a lot of losses because we're taking other entries, like like these over here, of course, but it balances out. So a lower win rate is fine because the RR on this is even. So over here, during January, we had all wins. It was just a great month overall. But right here, you guys just got to keep in mind that you want to keep above 50% win rate. So if you can keep above a 50% win rate, you'll be in profit by the end of the month, right? And each day of profit should be about $1,000, depending on how big of account size you have. So here goes the breakout V3 continuation, guys. Looks like it's currently setting up right here. And you can see we just got caught in an area where we probably, it did exactly what I just mentioned. So we just had bad timing right here, guys, which is okay. The strategy is going to do this sometimes, and that's just what's going to happen, right? You're going to get faked out like you did right here, and it comes right back to where it's supposed to. So you just got to accept that this is how trading is. That's why I'm not really upset about it. I knew this was probably going to happen, but I didn't really get too upset about it because I knew this was the case. Like, I couldn't really do anything about this, right? But you guys can see the trade probably would have played through. Unfortunately, here what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to screenshot this so that we have a better understanding in our documentation purposes. So let me go over here and just, man, what a bummer, right? But it's all good. I'm gonna eat that loss. I feel like for this trade right here, there's nothing we could really learn from it. I mean, aside from the double wick rejection, but either way, there would be no entry. So there's no other opportunities for a late entry here for the strategy. So either way, the entry would not have been like, there's no way we could have taken the entry any later than we already did. So yeah, it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, Rashida said she got stopped out, but she re-entered at 28.60, 268. Nice. Yeah, so Rashida got out and then she got right back in when price came back down. Let's see, Cam said consider it not following the rules fully and moving it up. But I noticed these PRBs will go into drawdown if sessions are close by. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, because I think what happened here is it came up to retest the sessions, and then it came right back down. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened right there. That's pretty much what happened here, guys, if you guys look closely. Price came down, our entry was right here, pretty much faked out back to the sessions, and then it came right back down to where it was supposed to go. Yeah, Cam said if this happens and this is the case, he might just start waiting for it to retrace up and then come back down. So I guess maybe what we can do in the future is we'll probably just Or I don't think this is really the case because a lot of the entries before they actually broke through the sessions. So like, I mean, we'll document it, but I've noticed a lot of the other entries, they actually like we take them when they're at the sessions or when they're like near the sessions as well. It's just this is a pretty clear description of like what happened. Price pretty much our entries right here. It faked out to the sessions and it came right back, like right back down. But if you guys want to use that as a confluence, you know, it's perfectly fine. I'm gonna keep applying it as is, and then if we need to make some changes later on in the future, you know, we'll do so. But yeah, the sessions were right there, literally at that point. Let's see. So Maddie said, yeah, if we skipped a double wick, this technically would have been the entry. I think it'd be too close to news though, huh? Yeah, it's way too close to news. Let's see. Kevin said I noted that both losses this week were double bodies on the 5 and 10 setting up. Maybe something, maybe nothing. That's good to know, Kevin. So it's good to know that you brought that up so we can keep that in mind as well. The main things I can probably look at would probably be the double wicks on both sides, maybe a higher time frame confluence, but I think a higher time frame confluence might be a little bit too much to add into the strategy. Because if we get to, here's the thing with the strategy, guys, we don't want to add too many criterias because if there's too many requirements, then there's just not going to be an entry, right? So once a day strategy and it happens between 6:30 and 7. So if that's the case and like, if that's the case and then we're not able to take an entry because there's so many requirements, then we're going to skip a lot of entries that could possibly be some good ones. So exactly. Yeah, Cam said we might never get an entry. So that's the case. You know, I'm going to stick to the game plan right now. We'll continue noting these things, but I'm glad that you guys are here to give me like a second eye to basically review. Let's see. And the thing that we got to keep in mind too is that, you know, sometimes we're just going to take months like this. There's going to be months where there's going to be, you know, more losses than usual. Like for January, we had no losses for the PRB. It was like a whole month of straight wins. February just seems like the trickier month this month so far. So, I mean, overall, it's still pretty profitable, but, you know, you just got to eat those losses and then move forward with it. So not really going to put too much mind to it. It's just one of those trades, and one of those days, of course. Um, I'm kind of over February. I'd like February to be over already, and then go into March because I think it usually comes into play like with a month, right? One month is going to be really good. One month is going to be kind of like a break even. One month is going to be kind of slow. So I'm hoping March is going to be more of a straightforward month like January, and we just have straight wins. Because if you can have straight wins for the entire month, I mean that's going to be super super useful and profitable, of course. Let's see. Nice. Dejan said that these entries got me to pass my 2 Apex accounts, so I'm gonna take them regardless. Yeah, no, same here. Definitely would have taken them. I'm gonna keep taking them regardless because that's just that's the probability of this specific strategy. Because I mean, realistically, you just need a 50% win rate, right? You need a 50% win rate for the strategy, or a little bit higher than a 50%, because if you have at least one win or a couple wins each month over losses, then you're going to balance out in profit. You just got to take them and you got to hold on to them. You can't get scared. Like you can't pull out of them early. You can't, you can't try to take more trades. And that's kind of the mantra that I'm going to be holding through the rest of this mentorship. Basically, the mentoring group from now until May, I'll just be taking the PRB entries, and then you guys will see how my results play through. Yeah, exactly. Kenneth said, yeah, as long as you don't change your lot size or contract size and you win more than 50%, you'll be in profit. Exactly. You just got to play the numbers game. And that's what I'm doing here. Because so far we're still in profit. Like we're still 7 wins and 4 losses. In order for me to be break even for the month, I got to have 3 more losses back to back, which is probably not going to happen, right? We were stacking wins earlier in the month, and then I mean right now it's just balancing out. it's balancing out. But if we have more wins for the rest of the month, then it's going to be heavy profit from there. Yeah, exactly, Nick. I think just moving forward, you just got to take the trades and let them run through. And that's the same situation I'm in too. Because Monday, Tuesday were kind of tricky days for me. I got like about half profit, a little more than half, but it wasn't full profit, of course. So technically, I'm at like close to break even. I'm still in profit, but I'm close to break even. I barely made profit this week because of Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday threw me off. Yesterday was a good day, got full TP. But yeah, 2 losses, 3 wins. You're either in profit or you're like close to break even if you took a half. Yeah, Sam said February is tough. He remembers our results from last year. It was profitable. We hardly took any trades. Yeah, if we pull up 2023, so February 2023, we took only 13 trades for the whole month. We had a high win loss ratio, but we barely took any trades. The difference with this year is that we're taking every trade every single day. So we're taking a lot more trades. And that's why the win loss ratio is going down, but the profits are still about the same, it looks like. So we made about like 3,000. Yeah, it's about the same. So we made 3,000 profit on 3,000 pips profit. We're currently at 75. So we're getting around that point. We're halfway through February. So it's pretty balanced. And I think this is good that we have the spreadsheets here to look at. But anyways, back to the charts, guys. There's no entries for us here. We're currently in a bearish trend. In order for us to have entry here, we would have to have a V1 pattern on top for conflict. So I'm going to be looking for that entry, but we just don't have it here just yet. Yeah, I know, Maddie. Here, let's see. PC said my observation is that the signal candle should not be a third consecutive candle in the opposite direction unless it is a doji candle. Um, I think that's a little too complicated, PC, because if you do that, then you just skip an entry, right? So, like, guys, back to what I was saying with the strategy. This strategy is a once a day strategy. If you're going to be too scared and too conservative and you don't want to take the entry, you're probably going to have a lot of days where there's no entries, right? And days like that are going to be days where these wins come up, right? So I'm not going to add too many criteria to it, but if you think that's the case, PC, then for you personally, when you guys are looking for an entry, like if when I'm marking it up, then you can skip it. Like personally, you can skip, like say with you, Cam, if you think it's too close to the sessions, then just skip the trade, right? For me personally, I'm going to keep taking it because we don't have enough data to identify what's the real problem here, right? We need to gather data here. And every day we're going to have one trade. So we're not really going to have much data until like maybe the end of like March or April. So yeah, I mean, you guys can keep that in mind. And if you guys want to avoid the trade like for yourself, then go ahead. I'm going to keep taking the trades because from our research and our data and back testing, it shows that it should be profitable. I don't think there's been a month where it hasn't been profitable. So as long as I take every single trade, I let them all hit TP or stop loss, I should be in profit at the end of the month. It might be a little profit, might be a lot of profit. But I'll be the example for you guys. So yeah, if you guys want to if you guys want to have your own criteria to the strategy, feel free, but I'll be the guinea pig and I'll show you guys how each entry comes up. So yeah. There's no need to change anything. The strategy is still very good. If we count all the days here, from January. So this is just for these 2 months. But if we count all the days here, so let's see, we have 5 times 4, plus we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll just do we'll do 30 days, or I don't know how many days are in the month so far. We'll do 30 days. So basically 30 days total. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. So basically 24, or sorry, 26 divided by 30. Overall for the year so far for the PRB, it's currently at 86%, right? 86.7% win rate for the PRB. So that's why I'm okay with taking all the entries. I'm okay with eating these losses because we made a whole bunch of wins prior to this, and it's just recapping. Um, like the strategy can't be 100%, of course. So there's going to be periods where you just have to eat the losses, and you just have to weather the storm. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you guys want to make some adjustments, feel free. But I'm going to keep applying it the way that I created it, and we'll just see how it plays through until May. Right, so there's a double body rejection right here. The pivots are crossing, so I'd probably skip any entries for now, guys, until there's any confirmation of trend. You need to wait for the trend here to be confirmed. You can see that price is really just going back and forth here now. Let me go over here. There's a structure. So here goes a higher high. You guys can see that this is now the confirm range. So yeah, exactly. Sarah here, that Sarah brings up a really, really good point. So Sarah said the strategy is still in testing phases, guys. If you guys are uncomfortable with losses, just take the V3 continuation from now until we have enough data. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. Thanks, Sarah, for the input. She's right? The strategy, we've only been applying the strategy for about a month now. So there's not enough data to make changes. And if you put too many requirements to it, there's never going to be an entry, right? You can't be a scared trader. Scared money don't make any money, really. You have to figure out a strategy that works well. You just got to stick to it. PRB works very well. It's in this month, it's not working as great because of the market conditions. If you guys have noticed the market for February, like this month, market's been pretty weird for this month compared to January, right? January was very volatile. It was pretty smooth. This month, you can see this is a lot of what's been happening, right? A lot of fake outs, a lot of back and forth movement here. This has been the market for like the past 2 weeks now. A lot of sideways movement. There's just no consistency, right? In January, the market was going up consistently, and it was going down consistently. So that's why the PRB entry would just automatically hit right away because there was no fake outs happening. Like for example, the entry today was a big fake out. Price came up, went to the sessions, came right back down. So it's all good. I mean, that's just the way that's how the market works. All right, so there's no entries here, guys. This V1 pattern was invalidated, so there's no longer any entries here. Price might push up, and then as it pushes up right here, we may have opportunity for a buy. Clean this up a little bit. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, Maddie said target price point is session. So target price point for price reach is going to be this purple sessions right here. Let's see, Maddie said probably going to go up and probably going to go up to open and test the higher high as well. Yeah. So target price point that I can see price really pushing up to is going to be this higher high right here. If it climbs up and breaks past opening price, probably going to climb up higher. As you guys can see, there's still no entries available here. There's no V1 pattern down here. So nothing for us to take at the moment. Other target price point here could be up at the upper level as well. And it looks like the market is coming back down. So there's no higher high right there. There's another higher high right here. The price is just in a huge range. So take this off. You guys can see right here, a lot of fake outs, big spikes right here. Then it came right back up. This range is pretty wide. Yeah, it's about a 100 point range. So it's ranging pretty far out. All right, let me take a screenshot of my losses real quick so that you guys can see where I'm currently at. All right. The red days are going to be really red and the green days are going to be really green. So you just need to get into the groove of it to hitting back-to-back wins. And then once you have some back-to-back wins, it's going to look a lot better. I wish there was a way for me to show the monthly. I don't know how some of you guys are doing it. I think some of you guys are using Rhythmic, which is different. But yeah, I wish I could show you guys the weekly profits because if you guys saw like it all together, you'd see that I'm still in like profit for the week. But yeah, the red days are going to be red and the green days are going to be green. So you can see over here, these are all red, of course, my losses for the day. These are my other from yesterday, super green. The day before that was red. The day before that was super green. So you can see like my profits were pretty decent. We had a pretty good win streak for a while. A couple losses right there from the week before. All wins there, all wins there, all wins there. So we had a pretty good win streak. I'm pretty like for the year so far, I'm pretty deep in profit. You guys can see I have like consistent days here where they're just straight wins every single day. Like if I wish I could show my year to date. So you can see we didn't have any losses until like since like January 22nd. So from January 22nd up until last week, we're straight wins. Straight wins, These were the first day that we had like, I think this was a win, but for whatever reason, it kicked me out of that trade. But everything else were pretty much wins. So we've been on a straight winning streak for a couple of weeks. And then we just started having losses last week. So if you guys were to add all my profits together for like the whole year, for the whole month, or for the whole week, you guys would see that, they were all green days. We just started having, it just looks bad when it's all red like this, but realistically, I'm not red overall. I'm like green overall because I have so many green days right here. Yeah, you guys can see like I had a win streak right here, like 3 days. What, one, two, three, one loss. Yesterday was a huge day. And today is just, I basically just threw away the profits from yesterday. That's literally what happened. So like basically what happened here was we had a win yesterday with all my 20 accounts, and then we had a loss today. So I pretty much lost all my profits from yesterday. But I had two wins the day before that, Monday, Tuesday. And these over here, they pretty much anchored me over into profit for this week. So yeah, I got to find a way to copy it. Let's see. So Kenneth said on NinjaTrader, right click on the account section and go to properties and add a weekly P&L to the list. Oh, smart. Weird. I don't have the option, Kenny. Hmm. Yeah, weird. For some reason, I don't have that option. Account section, go to properties. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll figure it out. All right, but thanks, Kenny. I probably just missed it. All right, so there's no entries available yet, guys. No official entries. There's a V1 pattern here that just came up. So there may be an entry, but there's a ton of red flags in this whole area right here. So I don't think we're going to have any entries at this point. Also, there's no buy signal that's pending. So I'm not really expecting much to happen here. There's a V1 pattern here, but we need a buy signal in order for it to be a breakout V3 continuation. And in order for it to be a V1 variation, we need to have a pending buy signal as well. So there's just not much here for us to work with. PC said FTO just sent an email that they are closing MT4 and MT5 at the close of today and are moving to DX trade for US clients. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't get the email yet. Check it out. All right, so let's see what we got over here. Gotcha. See it, William. All right, so let's see what we got over here so far. All right, guys, so we have the V1 pattern right here. We just don't have any entry. We need the sell signal. So if the sell signal here closes, we can possibly look for another V1 pattern, but the sell signal needs to close and it can't drop below this point here. That's the hard part about this. Because it looks like if it does close, it's going to push past this low, and there will no longer be a V1 pattern on this specific setup. Nick's asking, are you still trading your FTMO, Sean? No, I'm not. I'd be posting profits for them, but no, I'm not. Well, I couldn't trade with them at all because the MT4 had issues with it. I don't know, there's issues with MetaTrader in general, guys. I've been trying to use my MetaTrader, or I've been trying to like just set it up. And I don't know if it's just not compatible with Mac anymore, but I did update my Mac. So I mean that might be the case. Maybe it's not compatible with the new operating software. So no, I haven't been trading the FTMO, Nick. It's just sitting there. Kind of just I was waiting for them to come up with a solution. I'm hoping DX Trade has a copier though, because if they don't, then I'm kind of screwed. Or I guess I could just trade them separately or just trade different trade I don't know. I'll see. I'll have to check what the thing is. Because if DX Trade is if they don't have a copier, then I'll probably just have to open a really big account with them or merge my accounts and then still trade with them. But yeah, I mean if that's the case, then I'll probably still use them because then I can probably just take the same PRB entry on both platforms. And FTMO is like one of the companies that um I still think will work fine. I think they're the only company that I think will that I'll use if I do use DX. Nice. Yeah, William said he'll ask FTMO about that. I have a list of questions for them. I'll post my results in the group later once I get a response. Yeah, no, definitely, William. That'll be great. Um, but yeah, if I was to go back to international funding companies, I think the only company I would use would probably be FTMO. Definitely not messing with TFF. Definitely not messing with MFF. Yeah. I think I'm fine with like two accounts or two separate platforms to be executing. And hopefully they have a copier because then I could just copy copy trades on their end as well. All right, guys. So we don't have anything here yet. Uh, that V1 pattern there got invalidated. The trend here is still not confirmed. As you guys can see, this is like exactly what I was just mentioning earlier. This is kind of what's been happening all throughout February. It's been a tough month for a lot of people, not just us, but for a lot of people in general. Um, I think it's been a tough month for the PRB, but every other strategy that we've been applying and following, it's still been working perfectly fine. So if you guys have been looking for the V1 variations and breakout V3 continuations with confluence, the entries are still hitting. It's just that they don't come up very often, right? I think there's been days where they just don't come up at all. So similar to like what we discussed earlier with Sam. So Sam mentioned, last February, we had a pretty good win rate, but we didn't take very many trades. We took a total of 11 trades for the entire month. So if you were to count the trades that came up here, the official trades that showed up during these live sessions, I think there was probably maybe, like about the same amount. Because if we weren't counting the PRB entries, the other entries would still come up, of course. So I'm not sure who else is keeping track of those. I'm not keeping track of them myself because I want to keep this chart strictly to PRB so that we have the data properly aligned. I guess I can still keep track of the other entries. I just have to like set a separate one just for PRB. But we'll see. I'll uh I'll kind of determine what should be the case once we move forward. But the other entries are still hitting. So like the V1 variation with confluence are still hitting. Breakout V3 continuation with confluence still hitting. They just don't come up as often. There's gonna be some days or some weeks where there's like maybe one or two trades for the entire week. Yeah, Delicia said she took a V3 breakout and it hit her TP for 25 ticks because she saw a V1 on the lower low. And now that she's looking for this trade, she thinks that the lower low is not supposed to be. Um, you can still take it, Delicia. There's no, I don't think the lower lows or higher highs have anything to do with it. For a sell. Sorry, Delicia, which one are you looking at? If you want to point it out, I can probably pick it up here. So you took a V3 breakout. Yeah, if you can tell me whether it was either this one right here, right? Okay, so you took that one right there. Actually, no, that was a position. The only thing here is that there was no trend. So your intro is fine because there was a V1 pattern right there. There was just no trend. So like in this situation, I wouldn't be looking for a sell. But if you just want to trade it that way, you can trade it that way. That's how the strategy is supposed to be applied. So the original way of the breakout V3 continuation was that there was no trend that you would follow. But for these official entries, we've been using the trend for everything because we want to trade with A plus setups, right? Your setup is still like an A setup. It's just not necessarily an A plus because you're going against the trend, which makes it a bit risky. Kind of similar to what happened right here, right? So, or not right here, but like, well, there's no other examples here, but if there was another example, you can see how like momentum pushes price up and down. The way that you're applying it, Delicia, is actually good for this type of market because price is going sideways, right? It's going back and forth. So you can technically trade breakout V3 continuations, in both directions. Price comes down, comes back up, comes back down, comes back up, etc. Right? So in this type of market, you actually made a good decision, but for the most part, January was a trending month. So for us, we've been following pretty much all of the trades in the direction of the trend. So yeah, Dijon said 2 trades from adding 2 more funded tossed up accounts. Now I just want to be profitable, so I'm not going to add any more accounts after this. Yeah, so for me right now, personally, I'm using 12 contracts, but once I'm funded with all my accounts, I'm going to switch to 10 contracts because it's going to give me enough leeway to survive any drawdown that may happen. So yeah, because right now with a 12 contract size, I can take 3.3 back-to-back losses before I blow the account, but with a 10 contract, I can take four losses back-to-back, which is probably not going to happen, but it gives me that safety net um, if I ever need it. Yeah, Song said he took the high-low scalp, well, high-low momentum scalp at 703. Let's see. Oh, this one right here, yeah. So Song took the high-low momentum scalp right here. He saw a bunch of reversal ticks, reversal wicks, and he forgot to change his TP stop loss from the PRB, so it negated his loss. Nice. So yeah, Song over here actually took this. As you guys know, there's a lot of the different strategies that you guys can apply. This type of market right here is actually good for the high-low momentum scalp, like what Song took. There was a lower low right here. This buy signal broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. And he took this here for 25 points. So he's pretty much at break even for the day. He recouped his losses from the PRB and he's back in profit. So nice work, Song. That's the one thing too, like, Roy, I mean, it worked out in your favor right here, Song, but like, be careful when you guys enter a trade and make sure that your TP stop loss is set properly. I mean, thankfully it worked out here for Song, but it could have worked out the other way, right? Price could have went straight to your TP and turned around. So just keep it in mind. There's another breakout V3 continuation here, but there's a bunch of red flags. So obviously not one that I would recommend taking. There was a buy signal with a green candle after it. However, there was no confluence here. And then also price was touching the sessions. So big red flag right there. Exactly. And that's what Song mentioned too. Song said another entry, but he skipped it because of the sessions right there. It's just a tricky market today. I mean, not just today, but this month in general. There's been a lot of cases where prices either near the sessions at like all times of the day, or there's just no direction. Like for this right here, clearly there's no direction. Price just keeps going back and forth. All right, now again, it's still a waiting game. The ATR is still pretty decently high, so I mean there may be some entries here. ATR is currently at 19. The only problem here is that again, if price pushes up higher, it's going to be stuck at the sessions right here. This is the same sessions we were looking at earlier, about 20 minutes ago. And then if price comes down lower, there's still sessions right here too. So there's sessions in both sides. We have the Asia low right here, and we have the London high right here. So wherever price goes, as long as it stays within this area, there's not going to be any entries to take. And I kind of can't wait until next week already. I want it to be next week already so that we can get back to to trading. I'm just not used to taking losses because all of our strategies are usually like super high win rate. And I kind of want to get back to trading next week so that I can bounce back from this loss today. Obviously, I'm not going to revenge trade, but it just kind of puts you in a different mindset. I'm so used to winning a lot of trades, but I'm doing this for an example to show you guys that you can take one trade a day and still be very profitable. Normally, I'm taking the quicker scalps, and the quicker scalps hit pretty quick, so that's why we have such a high win rate. I mean, if you look, our results for this year are going to be very different from last year, but I'm expecting it to be more profit. So you guys can see from last year, we had a really high win rate. We had like 100% win rate. We had like a 91% win rate. We had an 88% win rate, but the profits weren't like huge, right? The profits were like, they were pretty decent. Like these are considered like 190 points, right? Over here, we didn't even have 100 points. So like you can see over here that like the profits weren't huge, but we had a very high win rate. Very high win rate. Profits were decent. But if you're comparing this to like what we're doing now, we're going to have more losses and more wins because we're taking a trade every single day, but the profits are going to be a lot higher. So for example, over here, we had, Like this is 75 points, which is equivalent to 750 pips. That's kind of like what we were doing over here on certain days. Like some months we would have less than 1,000 pips, which is 100 points. So I'm kind of excited to see how this is going to play through, but it just makes you like, well, in this phase right now, it kind of makes, because I'm not able to take any other trades. I'm trying to stick to the game plan, which is only PRB. Um, there's actually another trader that I kind of follow that did the same thing that I was doing. I'm not sure if you saw it, Maddie. I sent it to you and I sent it to a couple of the other guys. Sisu actually sent it to me last night. There's another guy that trades exactly how we do. He takes one trade between 6:30 and 8, just like we did. And he was doing good. He was growing an account from 200,000 to 1 million. And he was at like 250,000. He was getting close to that. Like he was like at 50,000 by the end of the first month. And then what happened was last Friday, he did the unthinkable, right? He traded after the live session. Well, not his live session, but his trading time. He traded between 6:30 and 7. And then he started to trade and take revenge trades after 7. And he blew his entire account. He had a 200K like personal account. He lost his entire account, which is crazy. But the thing is, he's being like super transparent about it. So he's going to restart his game plan and just stick to that one strategy for the rest of the year, which I got to try my hardest not to, especially after seeing that guy blow his account. One loss for us isn't really a big deal. One loss for us is about, I think it's 1%. So let me check. So, and it's crazy because it's his own money. He's not trading a funding company. He's trading on like Webull, which he's trading stocks and stuff. So he traded his his personal account. He's just another guy that I don't really follow him. Like I saw what he was doing, and I actually bought into his. I bought his. I've never bought a course before. I bought his course because I was kind of curious to see like what he was doing. Like what can we do to kind of mimic what he was doing? Um, and his course sucked. I mean, he doesn't actually tell you what he's doing. He kind of just gives you like these dumb patterns that, well, not dumb patterns, but they're patterns that like anybody could see. He looks for like a cup pattern, cup formation, stuff like that. So I just was like, bro, this is trash. But he was like, it works for me. So I was like, okay. Um, but yeah, Patricia, he's not in this group, or he might be in this group. Uh, because his strategy is very similar to ours. It's just that he trades stocks and then he basically does what we do, but on stocks. So I think he might have been in our group at some point because he scalps like us too. I only know like I think 2 or 3 other traders where they're not huge traders, but they do have a community as well, who kind of trade similar to us, and they started with me. So they started trading with us a long time ago, years back, and they just created their own group. So the strategies are kind of similar, but they're not as on point. Patricia said, Sean, who's that? He goes by the 20-minute trader. So he just came up as an advertisement on my Instagram, and I was just curious to see what he was doing. He's not really doing anything out of the ordinary, but he trades very similar to us. He just trades a breakout in the morning. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I had high hopes for him too. I was hoping he'd do well because I was like, okay, great, we're doing the same thing. And he just didn't post any videos for like a week. And he posted a video yesterday. It was like, oh well, I blew my account, which is 200K. And I was like, fuck, that sucks. It's different when it's a funding company because it's not your money, right? Like for me, that's why I'm okay with like taking these trades and not really having too much emotion in it because it's not my money. Like if I have a loss, I'm like, all right, whatever, it's a loss. And if I have a win, I'm like, all right, whatever, it's a win. But when you have your own personal account and you're taking big losses and big wins like that, you're gonna be super emotional. So yeah, it's crazy. He was doing good. He was trading for like from January up until I think last Monday or last Friday. And last Friday, he just ended up taking a bunch of option trades. He held them over the weekend and account blown. It's messed up. Sucks. I mean, it sucks, but it's like the good thing is that he learned from it. And that's the one thing that I respect him for is that he's transparent. He's not like a fake trader out there that's like taking losses and then like hiding them from people. He like blew his account and like he made a video and he's like, well, I screwed up because he didn't follow his trading plan. So now he's going to reset his account. But here's the crazy thing. Now he wants to grow his account from 200 to a million, which that's going to take forever. He's just going to over leverage his account and he's probably going to blow it again. Personally, it's just what I see. Because like growing an account from 200 to a million, I mean, if you do the math, it's like you can't even compound that. Like you have to take like so many crazy trades. Like that's 200 times 10%, $20. Like you'd have to make like 100% every single day to grow that. So I mean, it's all good. I'll try to follow his journey and I'll see how he's doing. But I think for us here, I think we're going to be pretty smooth moving forward. But I just got to stick to the game plan. All right, guys, there's no V1 pattern here. Price is still climbing up a little bit. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. 7:40 right now, so we have about 20 minutes till 8. I'm not really expecting too much to happen. You guys can see the ATR here is starting to die down a little bit. But yeah, I need to figure out how can I copy my personal account because I would like to have my personal account copied on my NinjaTrader, but I got to figure out a way to connect it. So I'm going to open my own personal TraderGate account and see if I can copy it over. And I need to make sure that it's okay with Apex. Because if that's the case, I mean, if that's the case, then I'll probably go get my licensing for the hedge fund that I was telling you guys about before. And you guys can just take my trades. Like if I can do a copier like that where it just copies the trade, so it can just copy to everybody's accounts. That'd be so much easier because I already have the trade psychology to take one trade a day. I can just execute the trade and then it copies to like everybody's account. And then overall, you'll have profit long term. But again, we'll save that for another day. That's a lot. That's like farther down the line. Nick said no trading Monday, correct? Yes, that is correct, Nick. No trading on Monday because Monday is a holiday and there's probably going to be no volatility to take any trades or to take, the PRB at least. So no trading on Monday. But again, guys, you guys can see the ATR down here started to die down. It was at like 20, went down to 19, 17, now 16. And it just keeps getting lower because we're getting closer to 8 o'clock. Volatility is starting to die down a bit. All right, John said he's done for the day. He got his 2 wins on his top step and he's back. He'll be back on Tuesday. Yeah, for sure, Dejan. We'll see you back then. Kenneth is asking, anybody here use DX trade? Yeah, does anybody here use DX trade? I thought DX trade was TradingView, but it just looks like TradingView. So I'm not familiar with it. I'm not sure if anybody else uses them either. See what else we got over here. All right, let's see. We got some team profits over here. So it looks like some of you guys here took different trades or you took more trades. So we have Gian over here with a total profit of 872. Gian took the V3 entry at 634. Nice work right there, Gian. So great profits right there. Here's Dejan. He has his 3 accounts. Total profit of 2,000 per account. Nice work, Dejan. So 971 per account. Total profit of 2,000 for the week. We have Maria here, total profit of 380 on her first account, 315 on her second account. So a total profit of well over 600 for the day. Nice work, Maria. Maddie over here recouped some of his losses from the PRB entry. We have Nikki over here, total profit of 900 on her first account, 10, 30, 25, 30 on her 4 other accounts. So total profit of well over 1,000 for the day. Nice work, Nikki. Yeah, she took the V1 on one account and then she managed to get out of the PRV with little profit on her other account. So nice work there, guys, for holding on to it. See what else we got here. Some losses for everybody, of course. We have Kenneth over here. He was able to recover from the PRV loss with the V1 at 649. So Kenneth over here made back some profit. He made back the loss and then he also made some profit here. Total profit of about 1,000, 2,000, about 4,000 across all of his accounts. Nice work, Kenneth. Great recovery there. And that's about it. You know, a lot of people here took losses. I took the biggest loss, of course, because I have my 20 accounts. But again, I'm still in profit for the week. So I'm gonna figure out what Kenny was telling me so I can show you guys a weekly. So for next week, I'll show you guys a weekly so you guys can see a better picture of like how much profit I made for the week. Because realistically, I'm in profit for the week. I just basically, this loss today just pretty much wiped out my wins from yesterday because I had all wins yesterday and this was the loss from today. So basically, this trade made me a break even from yesterday, and then all the other profits from earlier this week put me up for the week. So I'm technically in profit right now. Not a lot, but I'm in profit like a couple $100, I think. A couple $100, closer to 1,000 per account, which is still decently fine. It's like, what is that, like 10, 20K? So yeah, exactly, Maddie. Because that's what I mentioned before, right? I mentioned that to you guys in the group before in the past, that that's kind of what hurt the trade before. We'll go over it in the mentoring session. So after this, guys, I'll get on the mentoring session. If you guys want to sit in on the mentoring session, if you guys are not part of the mentoring group, feel free to hop in. I'll post the link on the Discord so that you guys can join in, but I'll go over the previous trades and I'll show you that there were certain trades where they had a double wick on top and bottom and they still played out. I think it happened this week earlier too, Maddie. So I will, we'll go over that during the mentoring session. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Maddie said earlier this week it came up and then we sat on it, but it ended up hitting and it went straight through. So I don't think it's something that we can necessarily look at or that we should focus on, but it's something that we can just keep in mind, moving forward. Or if anything, I'll just take it on one account versus like all my accounts. It would have been easier to just have one loss versus 20. But then again, if I was to do that, it'd screw up all my other accounts, right? I have to keep them all in line with each other. Let's see, where I for weekly P&L, right click, then click properties, and it should be under your unrealized. Yeah, I tried to do that, but I couldn't see it. Maybe I'm just not looking closely. Yeah, I might just be blind, guys. Honestly, I might just be blind here. So I'll take a look at it maybe after the live session. But all right, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, looks like we're gonna wrap this up soon. Let's see. Jay's asking. He said he made 1,400 profit today, and I see Apex has a 30% consistently rule to get your payouts. I mean, you still have to cover your drawdown, Jay. You can't just withdraw your profits and then you have no drawdown. Because if you take the next trade and you go into drawdown, you blow your account, right? The trailing drawdown still follows your account until you're in profit. That's why you're not supposed to make withdrawals until you get to a certain threshold. But you also have to, there's also a cap on your withdrawals anyway. So it's not like, so for I think it's the first 3 months, we have a cap of 2,750 every 2 weeks. That's all you can withdraw. So it wouldn't really matter because if you're making X amount of profit, you can't withdraw all of it anyways. They do that so that you don't blow your account, but you still wouldn't want to do that because you need the cushion. Because like say for example, you have a 150K account and you made $1,000 and you want to withdraw that $1,000, then your drawdown is now at 4,000. So you have to build the account before you can make withdrawals to begin with. Yeah, Yeah, that's what you'd have to do. So like the consistency rule doesn't really matter because you'd still wouldn't be able to take money out because you have to build the account first before. So it doesn't really affect you at all. Um, so like for me personally, before I start making withdrawals, I would have to have well over 5,000 in the account. So I'd be at 1,500. So I'd be at 155,000. That's where I have to be before I start making any withdrawals. And then at that point, I still wouldn't make any withdrawals. Um, like I still wouldn't be able to make super consistent withdrawals anyways until after I'm like consistent. But I'm just gonna do the math here. So like for example, today we had a break even week, right? So for each of my accounts, I make 1,500, right? So 1,500 times, okay, what do we have this week? We had 3 wins, right? So we had 3 wins. So for each account, I made a total profit of 4,500. We had 2 losses this week, so 1,500 times 2, 3,000 loss, right? So 4,500 time minus 300, or sorry, 4,500 minus 3,000, I'm at like 1,500 per account times 20 accounts. That's gonna be 30,000 at the end of the week, right? So this is why I'm okay with taking one trade a day. I didn't have 20 accounts to begin with, but now I do have 20 accounts. This is how much profit I can be looking at if I just have one win overall for the rest of the week, right? So that's why I'm okay with taking a couple losses and a couple wins. And it just depends on like what account size you're using. So you guys can see here that even though we took 2 losses this week and 3 wins, the profitability is still very high. And then, for example, if you were to do that, say for example, you had just like a really crappy year, right? And you're just having one win every single week. That's 30,000 a week times 4. You're still making like 120,000 a month for taking just one winning, like one trade. So this is why you got to play the numbers game, guys. And that's why I'm fine with taking 3 wins and 2 losses, right? We count a win on Monday, win on Tuesday, win on Thursday, 1 loss on Wednesday, 1 loss on Friday. Like, and I have 20 accounts, so the profits add up, right? So I'm okay with taking 3 wins and 2 losses. Like I'm okay with having a 60% win-loss ratio because at the end of the year, I'm going to be making a ton of profit. And on some weeks, we're going to have straight wins, right? So like, for example, the first week of February, we had straight wins, right? From like January 29th up until February 7th. We had no losses for the PRB. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 wins. So best case scenario, you have, okay, so I'll do like conservative, but like middle, right? So let me just clear this up. Say, for example, we have 4 wins and 1 loss, right? So 1,500 times 4, that's a $6,000 dollar win for the week. And then you have 1 loss minus 1,500. So you make 4,500 per account on like, say, a conservative week, right? You have 4 wins, 1 loss. You multiply that by 4, you're making about 18,000 for the month times 20. That's 360,000 for a whole month with 20 accounts. So guys, I'm just showing you guys like the breakdown of like why I'm okay with eating the losses and just moving forward and taking one trade a day, because the probabilities here are very high. You guys can see the PRB, the probabilities are super high here. The whole month of January were all wins. February is obviously gonna be a rocky month. It's the long game. You have to think about it long term, right? I'm thinking about, okay, now I'm gonna have a couple losses, but like by the end of the month, I'll be in profit. And then by March, April, May, it's gonna be pretty crazy. Like, if I was doing just one win a week, 30,000 times 4 times 12, that's 1.4 million, right? I'll be okay with that. With taking one win a week, just like two wins or 3 wins and 2 losses every single week. And it just adds up, it compounds over time. So that's where the goal is going to be. You guys will see, because I'll be completely transparent with you guys. You guys are going to see a PRB every single day. And I just got to stick to the game plan. I can't take anything extra, because if I do anything extra, it's going to mess with my win rate. So my main goal here is to, if I close this year out with a 60% win rate, that's how much profit I'm going to have across 20 accounts. So just keep that in mind, guys. We're early in the year. I'll just keep taking the PRB every single day until like maybe May. And then we'll see if I want to add more trades to it. If I want to add more trades, I can, but for the most part, I'm probably just going to stick to the PRB and we'll see how this year, plays through. Yeah, Maddie said stick to the plan and the wins will come through. Jeff said, I'm happy with my overall week, still hoping the next week will be a good trading week to let me help him pass his Apex. Yeah, I mean, that's the key thing, guys. The thing with Apex is that it's just, if you're taking one trade a day, it's going to take a lot longer for you to pass. But once you get on a hot streak, you'll pretty much like pass within a week. Like there's some people who got lucky, right? They did the PRB like when we first started. They did it from like January up until February 7th. They passed their challenge within, because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1,500 times 6. That's literally how much you would need to pass, right? Because you need 9,000 to pass your Apex if you're on a 150K account. So if you only took the PRB entries from January 29th up until February 7th, you would have passed immediately. Some people got lucky. They did it right away. For me personally, I didn't start adding accounts until like later in February. And this is why I'm in a limbo right now. I just keep going back and forth. I'm in profit, but it keeps going back and forth. I'm like, let me see. I'm currently at 154,000 in profit. So I need a couple more wins so I can reach that threshold of 159,000 to get funded on like almost all the accounts, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. That's why I'm not funded yet, because I'm only taking one trade a day. But long term, bigger aspect, it's going to be very beneficial for me to just let the trades kind of play through like that. So yeah, other than that, Sam's asking, can you post a link to the PRB results spreadsheet? So if you go to the Discord, it's going to be right here. It's in the same spreadsheet place where it's always been. Right here where it says 2024 official live trades. You just click on that there and it'll pull it up. But I'll share it here so that you can take a look at it too, Sam. But yeah, if you guys ever want to pull up the spreadsheet's going to be right here under 2024 official live trades. And this is where I'm going to be documenting all of the PRB entries. I mean, I only planned on taking this until May, but if, we might have a pretty good win streak from like March up until May. If that's the case, then I'm like literally only going to take the PRB entries because the probabilities are high and the profitability is very high as well, as long as you just kind of let the trade run through. All right, guys. So I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back live in a few moments. I'm just going to get off this live session. I'm going to get right back on for the mentoring session. And if you guys want to sit in on that, I'm going to post it on the Discord as well. So I'll post it under announcements. And for the people who are actually taking part of the mentorship, I'll post a link up over here as well for the mentoring group. So, all right, guys. If you guys are going to hop onto the mentoring group, I'll see you guys in a few moments. If not, I'll see you guys back here on Tuesday for market open. Just a reminder, Monday is going to be a holiday, so no trading, but I will be back here live on Tuesday for the